this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill
Wait
no one.
a second.
Oh, no.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. Septum Sin versus the world. 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 I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching Septum Sin versus the World. I'm Septum Sin. This is Kotobuki Jake.
Right.
And we're here to show you what they got.
Uh-huh.
It's quite a bit. But, though we do have stuff about giant robots,
Yeah?
they're not Gundam.
No.
But we do have some wonderful footage. Take a look. Alright, well, we have some fun titles. So I'm going to go ahead and start us off with a interesting one. So, we have at first the original classic Black Christmas, about a killer that haunts I believe it is actually a college sorority on Christmas break.
See our Inside Movies Galore discussion.
Yes, you were here for this one.
Yes, I was.
And then they did a remake, which I don't think you were here for this. I don't think we did a discussion.
No, but I
on
think
this
you
one.
showed it to me at some point.
So Black Xmas, not to be confused, but very similar story. Many people like this one better because the pacing's a little bit better, and it is a lot gorier. Same story, a little bit more update and modernized. For modern horror fans, this is pretty good. For classic horror fans, well, you know what it is.
Well, it's
If
one
I
of the
recall
original
correctly,
slasher
yeah, I was going to say,
films.
if I recall correctly, this has actually got the history of being one of the original slashers. Now enter Black Christmas, a Black Christmas adaptation for women by women. And that is how they originally marketed it, which apparently turned off a lot of the horror community. I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard that it's fairly well written, but not necessarily expertly executed. So, can't really say for sure. Haven't seen it yet. Do plan on collecting it so I can get the rest of them.
And it depends on your sources, too, because horror fans are all over the map of what they consider
Yes.
expert execution.
So,
For me,
again,
yeah.
it could be really good. The problem always goes between, it's really about pacing. In this movie, it can get actually a little bit boring at times because the pacing is very slow and methodical. This, the pacing is frantic. So, in between would be good. So if it's in between, it could be superior to both of these. And there was a lot of rumor that by the people who created it that we feel it is superior. But we will see when I get to see it. And I'm not buying it for full price. Maybe you will. I don't know.
Yeah? No, probably not. You know, it's funny, because I'm just looking here, and my selections, in a sense, have a theme of horror. Because, after all, you are horrified by One Piece. I'll go ahead and lead with that. I'm pretty sure we've already talked about the One Piece film Stampede. I'm almost sure, so it may just be a delay in the release.
Yeah,
but
it could be.
Whatever, it's on there. Go ahead.
So, one of the other series that I think was really good, and I really, really like the ender that they have for this series, which is Aquarion.
Oh yeah, that had a great ender.
Now, Aquarion, actually, come to think of it, I have, and
Hey, Foo.
because I'm showing this for a reason, of course, because this is coming out on an Essentials release, which is pretty cool. Like I say, it has a great ender, has a fairly decent story. I think it falls somewhere in between Gundam and Eva, really and truly. It's one of those, I think, that came out around that time. It just does that. It's about this ancient group of winged peoples versus humans, and they use mechs. That's about the short of it. It's been a while since I've seen the series, but if you want to watch it, it's good. You've got a good shot. Matter of fact, all of it's coming out on Essentials. You're going to hear more about it not too long from now, but you will also hear about it next week as well.
All right. It's good times. So, get ready for more thrills and chills. We have this week the Universal Horror Collection Set 4, which includes 4 tales of terror from the archives of Universal Pictures. So I'm just going to read this little description here. The collection includes such horror stars as Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi, Lionel Atwill, and Rondo Hatton. Boris Karloff ignites the screen as an inventor who is kidnapped by a gang of burglars and forced to help them commit robberies in Night Key. Bela Lugosi stars in a creepy tale of strange characters, secret passages, and a murderer who masters the art of mind over matter in Night Monster. In the climax, Karloff is terrifying as a mad doctor whose insane jealousy over a beautiful opera singer may drive him to murder. A giant of a man is used as an instrument of evil by a mad sculptor in House of Horrors. That sounds a little bit like a mech series.
Yeah, there you go.
But from what I'm reading here, or the user reviews, this is a decidedly mixed bag. Supposedly a couple of these are kind of weak, but these do look like pretty cool sets. And incidentally, if the picture's not already up, there you go. They do look like pretty cool little sets, and they might be worth getting, especially if you're a fan of those old school. This is a good condensed means of getting them.
Universal was considered the golden age of monster films. So, yeah, I would say definitely it would be worthwhile. I was looking it up, and yeah, we covered Stampede last week. I guess they delayed it a week.
I guess so, yeah.
We get these delays pretty often. It's like Right Stuff will tell me that it's releasing 1 week, and then it's pushed back a week.
Right. Then they realize that, wait a minute, this week is St. Patty's Day, so we want to have One Piece come out. I don't know why. But anyway.
We were talking about Aquarion. So, of course, we had the first season releasing.
Right.
So, logically, the only step that they could possibly take this week is to release the third season, Logos.
Logically.
So what happened to the second season, Evil? Well, next week, apparently.
Evil, I think, is the one that I have seen.
And I have Evil up there, and you can actually watch, at least those two series, you can watch them separately without seeing the previous, because they take place at different timelines.
Well, like I said, I think I have Aquarion Evil, and I've watched it, and it's pretty good. But
I actually have the save version of Evil. Of course, Logos is the only one that I didn't have, which this is the first time they've released all of it on one set, instead of charging $35 to $45 per volume of a 2-volume set. So for $20, which I did get it, it's coming, I'm much happier to buy it for $20 than I was for $80. Go figure.
Go figure. I can't imagine why.
So I am looking forward to that. Finally, after so long, I will be able to complete this series.
Yeah.
One that I started at Movie Stop.
Yeah. I think that's where I got Aquarion Evil, actually. So, we have some interesting stuff coming up this week from Kino Lorber. And one I specifically want to mention, a handful of collections. One is called Alice Guy Blaché, Volume 1, The Galma Years. And the other is Alice Guy Blaché, Volume 2, The Solax Years. And also The Intrigue, The Films of Julia Crawford Ivers. Now, what these three sets all have in common is that these are some of the oldest surviving films by female directors. And as we have pointed out on here, I am big booster for female directors. I feel like their time has come. There are some very talented ones out there, and they can't even get a friggin' Oscar nod in most cases. It's kind of stupid. But apparently Alice Guy Blaché practically ran Gaumont Studios for a while and then moved to the U.S. and started Solax. But these are some old films. These are almost as old as the Méliès films, or at least some of them are. And yeah, so if you are a collector of your dawn of cinema, you probably want these anyway, just because, you know.
And Kino is good about getting those old ones. I believe Kino did do a Méliès set, and they also released an Edison set.
I want to get those
I
sets.
think, both of those.
I want those.
The Edison set's really cool looking, too. The only one they don't have is Frankenstein on there, which is sad. But still, it's kind of cool to see it.
Right.
So, another set that's coming out has been rescued and now will be having a re-release by Funimation. We started off, of course, as a video game. It was a PS2 game, but also was re-released here on 3DS. And of course, that's Tales of the Abyss. Now, this was a pretty cool series. I actually have seen the anime and played the game to its completion. It's one of the Tales series games. And a couple of those have had their own anime adaptations. Of course, Bandai had this for a while, and it was fairly... And there were pieces that were hard to get of this series. I mean, you can see what it looked like. It's pretty cool there. Now, this is a series about a guy who's spoiled, raised in kind of isolation, and he's in this one of these two countries that is on the verge of warring with each other. And it turns into a case of intrigue in this fantasy setting, eventually leading to war and a crisis that's affecting the whole planet, as you do. So, it's a fun series. It's enjoyable. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. Or, if you like the Tales series of games, this one actually has been considered to have one of the stronger stories of the Tales series. So, it is a worthwhile one to get on either the PlayStation 2 or the 3DS. They're both fun.
Good times. Alright. So, I've had a theme so far in the last couple of some nice classic cinema. With, I guess the last one you can jokingly say the horror element being the people that don't want to admit female directors. Or the people who are horrified by silent films. Yeah. So this one is a nice contemporary classic known to horrify people who either are purists who can't believe they touched the original film, or also apparently The Rock's attempt to imitate Danny DeVito. I'm talking about Jumanji: The Next Level. I enjoyed Welcome to the Jungle. That was a fun movie, and I look forward to the sequel. But like I said, this time around, the players sucked into the game include two random old coots who knew nothing about it, who are played by Danny DeVito and Danny Glover. And the early reviews I read were that The Rock, for all his skill, is not good at imitating Danny DeVito. So I thought that was interesting. But I still want to see it. And it's, well...
Now, if you want to check out some behind the scenes, earlier on when it was filming, Jack Black went on his little channel, Jablinski Games, and did a lot of behind the scenes material as he was making it. So you got to kind of see it as it was filming.
Good times.
Which was kind of cool. I got to watch it as it was being filmed, even though it was a film I had no interest in, and still have no interest in.
Well, in the first one, he did a pretty credible job of playing a spoiled teenage girl, so, that was interesting.
So, with that being said, I'm going to move on to an anime. It seems like I got a lot of the anime this time.
You did.
So, this time we're getting... Speaking of series that are split into 2 parts per season with exorbitant prices, we're talking Attack on Titan Season 3. Finally, you get the complete Season 3 with Part 2. Or you can do like I am and wait until you get a probably classics release. I don't think this is going to... This one's too highly rated to probably get an Essentials level release.
Yes, it won't be at all essential.
So it'll probably be a classic.
It probably will be.
But I'm hoping to get like a consolidated full on. I mean, Season 2 I believe was short enough that was only a one set. But Season 3 big enough for 2 sets.
I need to see this show.
Season 1 was good. I haven't seen Season 2. I need to.
I've seen like 2 episodes. So, the next one had a little bit of horror of, the real life events that it was about horrified a lot of people. And then the movie itself got into a rather rough situation where there was a lawsuit and they were accused of mishandling the truth, which is ironic because that's what the whole movie is about. I'm talking about the new Clint Eastwood film Richard Jewell, about a security guard at the Atlanta Olympics in, what was it, 96?
Yeah.
And the big kerfuffle that happened when he reported a bomb and, it fit hit the shan, as they say it.
Yes.
And supposedly Kathy Bates is phenomenal as his mother, and she did get an Oscar nod for it. Olivia Wilde played the reporter who apparently has since passed, who's at the center of the lawsuit. They said that her representation was all wrong or whatever. But, I mean, Wilde is a great actress, so I don't think I'm going to put that on her.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about this film. I do want to see it. And, well, of course, it was an Oscar nominee. I'd have to see it anyway. But I am curious about it. And for those of you who, like us, or still want to finish the Oscar and be done with it and move on, here's your chance for one last piece of it.
That one was weird because they were like, no, you won't be able to watch it unless you can find it in one of those few theaters that was showing it. You couldn't get it in time for the Oscar. That was a hard one.
Eastwood has seems to have a record of doing very, very late releases. Because, I mean, American Sniper was a last-minute release, and that was,
So, my last one is another of these DC Universe animated features based on the comic Superman Red Sun. Now, I have not read this, but I've read summaries of it. I mean, essentially, it's the Superman tale, but instead of falling into the United States, he falls into Russia. And then Lex Luthor ends up being president of the United States and building it up, and then it's United States versus Russia. So, technically, it's kind of weird because Lex Luthor is the good guy in this one, and Superman is the bad guy. I heard that they did a pretty good job of the transfer with a couple of the tweaks that they do. That are not necessary, as they do. And
everyone does that. It's
and
so annoying.
The other weird thing is, from what I've been told, the epilogue, which has the twist, and if you haven't read it, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but the epilogue's totally missing from the actual movie itself. And from what I've heard, that really adds to the feel of it. Seeing that twist
Why
at
would
the
they
end.
cut that off?
Maybe they just want more time for fight scenes. I don't know.
Maybe, well, that might be it. Maybe they blew their budget on fight scenes, and that was... So, my last one, talking about dubious creative choices and a little bit of horror. This is probably the most controversial film that's coming out this week. And I'm going to wager a guess that in a career built on courting controversy, this is probably one of the most controversial films that Spike Lee has put out. But this week's Criterion release is a release of Lee's film Bamboozled, in which a TV executive, played by Damon Wayans, is tasked with trying to save his network's flagging ratings, and decides to do it by bringing back blackface. Which, of course, the white bosses that he has love the idea.
Nothing could possibly go wrong with
Nothing could possibly go wrong with that. And, it's got a pretty impressive cast overall. I've seen a number of Spike Lee joints. I still haven't seen all of them by any means. But this one sounds to me like it might be sort of in the vein of BlacKkKlansman, which was a great film. And I'm a little nervous about approaching this one, I will admit. But I will have to see it. It's a Criterion release. I will have to put it on my radar. But I am just deeply curious about this one. And, well, one day.
You know, Criterion's on a Spike Lee run.
Are they?
They seem to be, because they've published quite a few of them in the last couple of months.
No, not really. They re-released Do the Right Thing, but what else have they done?
There's been at least another one prior to that, too. There's been at least one other. Yeah, I know there's been at least one other, because we've covered them more than just Do the Right Thing.
Well, we covered them a couple weeks ago, because Shout put out a crap ton of his stuff all at once.
Let's see here. Spike Lee...
But certainly several of them deserve a Criterion release. There's no doubt about that. I'd like to see 25th Hour get a release, and not yet because it needs time to marinate, but I'd like to see Black Klansman get one.
Yeah, okay, so it's just those. I swear there was another one.
Well, maybe there was one of the very few that's gone out of print.
Maybe.
But I don't know. But yeah, I could see them. Like, I could see them doing Jungle Fever because it's such a famous film.
I swear Crooklyn was getting a...
Yeah, Shout release.
Okay, it's a Shout
That's
release.
what I'm saying. There were like 5 Shout releases all at once.
I'm mixing them up.
Yeah. Well, it was either Shout or Kino Lorber. It was one of the two. Actually, I think it was Kino Lorber. I'm sorry. It was one of... I think it was that one. But anyway, that's enough of that. That was everything we have for the week?
Yep, that's it.
All right. So...
Okay, well, I am... I guess I'm done. You're done. And we will...
So tune in for our other videos this week. We got a big one later in the week.
Yep, we're finally... We promised an NIS one, and we're giving. We're actually going to be giving multiple NIS ones. So, hey.
So your patience will pay off. And if you haven't already, check out last week's video, too. That was pretty fun.
All right. Well, we'll see you on the next one.